Tonight is on a island. It's about time we're making up. I told you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel set up.
Hello and welcome to a brand new video. So today's video is a very exciting video. I have been working on something for you guys. I get so many questions asked on like, how do you begin to learn to control your emotions? How do you begin this process of healing and like figuring out your triggers and learning not to be triggered and learning how not to be so reactive? So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and I also wanted to give you guys the exciting news on what I've been working on that I think is going to be an amazing tool for you if this is something that you really want to work on this year. I have created something that is going to be amazing for you guys, that's going to be launching soon, and I'm so excited. So let's get into this video. My journey with emotional control was something that I realized that I had to really focus on and really work on back in 2022. I had just got out of a really toxic relationship. I was completely defeated. I mean, this person took everything out of me. Like, being in that relationship really took like almost everything out of me, and it was really hard to kind of like have to rebuild myself and like figure out like, what do I need to do, like where do I move forward from this, like how do I make sure that this does not happen to me again. And that's kind of where I was at the end. Like, once it was over, it was like, okay, so after all this has happened, all this toxic stuff has happened, what can I do to make sure that this won't ever happen to me again? As I was going through that motion, you know, I talked to a therapist, I was watching a lot of content, reading a lot of books. What I realized in that journey, and when I was asking myself those questions, I realized that I did not know how to control my emotions. I realized that I had very bad boundaries. I had very bad self-control. I did not know how to effectively communicate what I wanted across to people. And I realized that my emotions and me being very reactive and me not, you know, knowing how to communicate effectively, not knowing how to you know, set up boundaries properly with myself and with other people, how this ultimately created this life for me that I did not enjoy. Because when you lack emotional control, when you are a very reactive person, you lack control in everything possible. This is not just something that happens. You don't have control with your relationships. You don't have control with yourself, whether that's with your finances, with your career, with your goals, with your diet, with your exercise, with other people that you have relationships with that are not romantic. And I realized like, this is not only affecting my romantic relationships, but I'm also hurting myself a lot more than I would like. And this is something that I really have to work on. And I think it's very important when you're thinking about controlling your emotions. Why I love this concept of learning to control your emotions, why I love this concept of learning to be less reactive and not internalize things, not take things so personally, is because ultimately the only person you can control is yourself. We're very quick to blame other people. You know, we are very quick to say, hey, if this person would have just done X, Y, and Z, or if they would have never said X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't feel this way. I wouldn't have to go to therapy. I wouldn't have to do all this stuff. And while that's true, you know, yeah, you know, that person could have done this, could have done that, but we don't control people. We don't control outcomes. The only thing that we can control is ourselves. And so instead of looking outwards and saying, hey, what could other people do for me to not have reacted this way? If this person would have just done this, I would not have done that. Instead of going at it in that perspective, which is very defeating, which causes low self-esteem, which is very stressful, which is very tiring, which is a very emotionally draining. Instead of going into that route or going into situations in that way, go into it with the mindset of, okay, I can't control these people, but I can control myself. What did I do wrong that I shouldn't have done? How was I creating my own issues? How was I, participating in this drama or this problem? What could I have done better for this to not happen so I wouldn't be in this situation? And that is how I proceeded to heal when it came to that toxic relationship that I was in. Yes, he did horrible things to me. But he did horrible things to me because I allowed him to do those horrible things to me. And if I would have had better self-esteem, if I would have loved myself better, if I would have had better emotional control, if I would have, stuck to my boundaries the way that I should have, those things would have not happened to me. But because I lacked of all of those things happened to me. And ultimately, I can't blame a bad person for doing bad things to me. Like, that's what they do. Bad people do bad things to people. There's nothing that I could have said or anything that I could have done differently to change who he is as a person. You get what I'm saying? And so that is how I proceeded to move forward when it came to controlling my emotions. So this is something I've been working on, and it has been a constant journey because, self-development and self-improvement, it is something that you have to consistently work on. There are times now, I am not a very reactive person. I'm not the kind of person that will, call your phone and curse you out and blow up your phone and pull up here and I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I used to. I don't do any of that anymore because I have been working on myself. There are a lot of things that I have done that have helped me just be more aware of my body, be more aware of what I'm feeling, and be outside of what is happening to me. I think that's also very important. Like, not being in the moment of when an issue is going on, but more so being outside of it and looking it from the outside in, like, okay, like, what's happening? Why is this happening? Why is this person reacting this way? Why am I feeling triggered? Let's figure this out so we won't be here anymore. So it's been a constant journey, but I really feel like this is something that I have been working on, where I have done amazing in. I mean, the way that my quality of life is now, it is the less stressed that I've ever been in my life, the happiest that I've ever been in my life, the most optimistic that I've been in my life. And I really believe that me learning to control my emotions and not letting it overtake me is a big reason as to why I feel this way. The improvements that I've seen have been tremendous. And the thing is that a lot of the problems that I have now are problems that I've always had. If anything, my life is a little bit more stressful now because I am a nursing student and I'm in an accelerated nursing program. And if you know anything about an accelerated nursing program, it's very difficult. Like, the amount of work and quizzes and tests and studying that I'm required to do on a weekly basis is a lot of work. So if anything, I'm more stressed. Like, I have more reasons to be stressed now than I ever have. But the reality is I'm not stressed out. Like, yeah, there are days where I'm just like overwhelmed by the amount of things that I might have to do, but I'm not experiencing, stressful situations like I used to. And I'm still interacting with people that I guess, would be considered toxic people. Or, I've had situations where I've had arguments with people and I might have slipped up a little bit, but not to the point where I normally would have. Like I said, this is like a learning process. This is something that I've been working on since 2022. So if you're embarking in this journey and this is something that you want to do, like, know that it's not a 1 day, 1 week, 1 course, 1 book type of situation. This is something that you're going to have to work on for probably ever, for a long time at least, because especially if you're coming from a person like me who has always been emotionally reactive, this is like a personality almost, a personality trait that you almost have to change. So it's very difficult, but is it possible? Yes. Like I said, for me, I've noticed big improvements. I don't react the same anymore like I used to. There are plenty of times where like old me, she wanted to come out, but I didn't let things get to me. And then when I have been in situations where like, okay, I want to snap, I want to say something, I want to do something, I've actually taken the time to just like not say, not react, and just let it go. Let it go. And that's another thing too that I've learned, is that usually when something happens to me, I have always been the kind of person that's like, I'm going to hold a grudge. Okay, I'm going to hold a grudge, and I'm going to sit here and I am going to be upset, and I'm going to sulk in it, and I'm going to replay the event in my head over and over and over and over again. That's just the kind of person I've always been. Ever since I started working on my emotions and doing this, I don't do that anymore. It's like, okay, it happened. Anyways, moving on. Bye. Next. So the thing that I have decided to develop or work on or create, I guess, is this ebook that's going to be called, I think, Emotional Harmony. I've decided on the title, and it is going to be a book/journal for people who want to learn to control their emotions. I get asked all the time, how do you get over things? How do you control your triggers? How do you get over your emotions? And this ebook is going to have everything that you need to get started on your journey of emotional control and not letting things get to you. I'm going to have, tips in there for things that you should incorporate in your daily life to make this a practice for you, to make this easy for you. I'm going to have journal prompts in there, a ton of journal prompts, because I feel like journaling about this and just really reflecting on this is really what's going to get that ball moving and make you realize things that you might not have realized, before. Journaling has been one of the most important things and best things that I have done as I have begun, working on my self-development and self-improvement. It has been one of the major things that I've been able to use to reflect and look back on. Like, I reread what I've said and say, hey, this is what I still need to work on, or I really improved in this area. Journaling has been amazing. So I have created this ebook where I'm going to have tips, tricks, books, videos, things that I think you guys should read, videos I think you guys should watch, people that I think you guys should follow that really helped me in this, journal prompts so you guys can get started and start reflecting on this, start getting that ball moving. And I really think that this is going to be a great investment for you if this is what you really, really want. Okay? And the thing about this, and what I do want to say, is this will only work as good as you want this to work, because I don't want anyone to buy this book and do it and not really reflect on it how they're supposed to, not really think about it, not really consider everything that's being said in that book, and then be like, well, it didn't help me. Because nothing will work if you don't want it to work. And like I said, you're gonna have times you slip up. You're gonna have times where you might react in a certain way you might not have wanted to. You might, say some things you wish you didn't, or do some things you might not have wished you had done. But at the end of the day, what's important is that you are self-aware, that you're realizing what's going on. Because sometimes what the issue is with not having emotional control is you do things, you don't think about it, and you don't reflect on it, and you continue to do those same things that are not good for you. So hopefully, I really, really hope that this book is helpful to you. I really, really hope that this book is something that you can use to really get the ball moving and get the ball rolling, because I promise you, once you open this door and you realize what else, like what other life there is out there for you to be able to live, you're not gonna want to turn back, and you're gonna start wanting to work on so many other things. Like, being able to control my emotions and learning about this has really opened the doors and opened my eyes to so many things that I needed to work on in myself. And I really feel like I'm making progress and moving in those spaces. And it is such a freeing and amazing and peaceful and healthy and beautiful and lovely life that I am so excited to live, because just this one thing alone opened my eyes to so much and made me realize, like, I don't have to live this. Like, I don't have to live in the way that I used to live. I don't have to have the same mindset that I used to have. So I really hope this ebook helps you. I've been working so hard on it for like the past couple of weeks. I really want to make sure that it's something that I would want to read and I would want to work on if I was interested in emotional control and developing better emotional control. I don't have the exact date of when it's going to be out yet, but I do know it's going to be out in February 2024. I don't know the exact date yet, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on TikTok. I will definitely post a message on here once the book is ready, but I'll also be promoting it on my TikTok and on my Instagram, and I'm going to be, you know, really pushing it out on there. But I really am so excited for this. I think this is going to be something wonderful for you if you're really interested in this, and I hope you love it as much as I've been loving, you know, to make it and just really do this. I'm just so excited for it. I think it's gonna help so many people. And yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. I hope that, you know, this year is a year that's transformational for you. I really hope that this year you are able to realize that a lot of the things that you have experienced in your life, you know, we can use them as teachers and we can use it as lessons to be better and to do better. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.